Can you buy a condo with your VA loan? The short answer is yes, but there's one major requirement that you need to make sure you do before you even consider doing it. So in this video, we're not only going to discuss what that requirement is and how to go about doing it, but we're also going to go over the pros and the cons that come along with using your VA loan for a condo. This channel was created to educate as many veterans as I possibly can around the VA home loan benefit completely free. So if you want to learn more about your VA loan, subscribe and join the community. And if you didn't know, our team get calls every day from veterans just like you who are trying to navigate the VA loan process. So if you find yourself stuck and you want to get help from a team of individuals who specialize helping veterans go through this process, give us a call or shoot us a text. We're happy to help. So when buying a condo with your VA home loan benefit, here are some of the things that you need to know before you do it. The first things I want to go over with you guys though today is really just the things that go along with using your VA loan when it comes to your ability to qualify. The main perks I would say are going to be obviously the most noticeable or the well-known one is the fact that you don't have a down payment requirement when using your VA loan, just like when you're purchasing a single family home. The other thing is the fact that you have very lenient credit score requirements. If you notice I'm saying the word lenient, but my text there says that there is no credit score required. And that's because technically that is true. The VA guidelines do not have a minimum credit score, but the only problem there is the VA is not who does loans. VA only guarantees the loan, which means that they only determine who is actually eligible to get a VA loan. But when it comes to who provides the loan to you, that's going to be the lender or the bank and institution that you are working with, which means that they could have their own rules or guidelines that are on top of the VA loans to make them weaker or just really more strict. So many lenders out there that veterans love going to, unfortunately, have a minimum credit score of 620 to 640. And these are going to be the top VA lenders that veterans, I would say, probably know by heart. And you're probably thinking of who that company is right now, but I'm not going to say who it is. Our team can help veterans as low as a 580 credit score, and we've even helped veterans in the 540 range. So here's how that works. Even though we have a minimum credit score of 580, we know that the VA guidelines don't have a minimum credit score, which means that potentially we can do what's called a manual underwrite to be able to try to approve that person if they don't have the minimum credit threshold. This manual underwrite process is a little bit detailed, but if you're interested or think that is something that falls in line with your situation, I have a whole video where I go over how a manual underwrite works, and I'll link that above that you can see up there and click on, or in the description down below for you to go ahead and check out if you think that's something that falls in line with your situation. Now, other than the credit score requirement, the next one is going to be debt to income ratio. This is actually a really big thing when it comes to using your VA home loan benefit because every other loan out there has a maximum debt to income ratio that you can have. Conventional has a 50% debt to income ratio. FHA is 57%, and then USDA is 45%. But VA actually doesn't even have a debt to income ratio associated with it. But similar to, as I mentioned about credit scores, there could be lenders out there that do decide to add a debt to income ratio on top of it. With us, we actually don't use debt to income ratio to qualify you. We follow the VA's guideline, which is the residual income requirement, to determine what you would actually qualify for, which is based on where you're at geographically and then also your household size to determine how much money you need to have left over after all of your bills are paid. The next one is going to be private mortgage insurance. If you're purchasing a property with a conventional loan and your down payment is anything less than 20% down, you're going to have private mortgage insurance. If you are using a FHA loan, no matter how much your down payment is, you are going to have private mortgage insurance. But on a VA loan, you do not have to worry about private mortgage insurance, whether you're putting 0 down or putting 50% down. It does not matter. There is no private mortgage insurance. The next thing we're going to go over when using your VA loan to purchase a condo is going to be some of the other perks of buying a condo in general. One of the biggest perks of buying a condo is going to be the fact that maintenance on that property is typically less. And that's simply because you don't have to worry about like yard work or landscaping because you're only responsible for your particular unit. The next one is going to be amenities, typically for things like pools, gyms, meeting rooms, outdoor areas, and some even have parks. Those amenities are things that come along with living in or owning a condo that you don't always necessarily have when purchasing a single family home unless you're buying like in a gated community, which could be in a little bit of a higher or inflated price point. Another one is going to be location. A lot of condos are in the mix of things. They're near restaurants, nightlife, a city living style, and there's a lot of things to do typically in the area of most condo complexes. Another one is going to be affordability. In some markets, it is actually more affordable to purchase a condo than it is to purchase a single family home. And another one is going to be community building. There's a lot of opportunity to meet new people, especially for people like professionals or business owners that want to just network and meet new people that they can just end up building partnerships with or even friendships with. Some of my best friends that I currently have today, or people that I look at as really good friends, I actually met while I was living in a condo complex versus when I moved and purchased a single family home. I didn't meet as many people in my neighborhood, not because I didn't want to, but more because when you're in a condo, I feel like you have a lot more ability to run into each other, rub shoulders with people because of whether it be the hallways or just the overall size of the community. I think that comes with a little bit of a benefit to some people that they like, which is just connecting with other people. So here's all my perks listed out there. As I mentioned, it was just the overall maintenance, the amenities, location, affordability, and the community building. Before I jump into the potential cons of buying a condo, I have to ask a huge favor. If you're getting value from this video, can you hit the like button down below? This lets the YouTube algorithm know that this information is valuable and will allow it to be shared to more veterans like you who need to know this information. I appreciate you. Now, things to keep in mind when buying a condo that I guess you could look at as somewhat of maybe the cons. That first one I would say is going to be HOA dues. A lot of people are just not wanting to have to worry about HOA dues. HOA dues are homeowners association dues, and they typically require the residents to pay a monthly fee to cover those maintenance costs, the amenities, and just any shared expenses. And these fees do vary widely depending on really, one, how much or how old the property is, and two, it also varies depending on just your overall general areas. Some HOA fees are pretty expensive, and for a lot of people, it could make it not make sense financially because those HOA dues are typically paid in a monthly basis. Now, the other one is going to be rules. A lot of HOAs or condo developments have a little bit strict rules and guidelines that you must follow when governing the residents, which means you don't have as much freedom as you would in a single family home. And it leads to the next one, which is going to be the control. Living in these HOA communities means you have limited control over certain aspects of your property, like maybe different changes that you want to make to common areas or renovations that you want to do. There are certain cases where you have to basically request permission from the HOA board because it affects the overall value of everyone else's condos, especially if it's something that you're visually changing that is seen from the outside. From the inside, it's a little different, but in some cases, there could be some restrictions even to what you are able to do on the inside. And the next one I would say is probably privacy. Condos and HOAs often involve the fact that you're in a close proximity to other people like your neighbors, and then you're using shared walls, shared common areas. It's in a way, you can say it's similar to an apartment living. That's what comes with living in a condo development. So the things, as I mentioned, to keep in mind when purchasing a condo: HOA dues, rules, control, and privacy. Now, I want to move over to now the most important part about what you need to know if you feel like you want to purchase a condo with your VA home loan benefit. And that is called the VA approved list. Any condo complex that a veteran is working or considering buying into that with their VA home loan benefit must be on what's known as the VA approved list. This list has hundreds of condos already on it, and it's possible to even get a condo added to it if it is not on there already, which means that if you're going to go out looking for a property or looking for a condo to buy, you want to make sure that it's already on that approved list, just so that way you don't find yourself possibly wasting time. Now, it doesn't mean that you don't want to go look at it if it's not on the approved list. I just think it's something worth knowing before you go and look at that particular condo, because it can take several months to get one added on there, which in some cases could, I would say, maybe kill the willingness for you to want to even buy it, because it can take a lot longer for you to just get your home. Now, when it comes to that VA approved list, the lender must seek the approval from the VA on your behalf. The appraisal also cannot be ordered until the approval is completed. And as I mentioned, the approval can take several weeks to even a few months for it to be done. There are a couple different approval statuses when you do look up a condo development. When you actually do get on that list, which I'll show you a little bit later in the video, I'm going to actually look up specific condos for you and show you what to look for. But the two main options that you should see when picking a condo is going to be one that says accepted without any conditions, and then accepted with conditions. Accepted without any conditions just simply means it is good to go. There's no added maybe addendums or disclosures that you're going to need to sign. And when it's something that it says accepted with conditions, it could mean because there could be some form of a pending litigation, or there could be a change that was made that they're just needing you to be aware of to just help protect your best interest when purchasing a condo. Now, when it comes to getting one added to the VA approved list, this is the list of things that are going to be needed in order for it to be done. The declarations, which is a declaration of covenants, conditions, and restrictions. This is best known as CC&Rs. If you tell any real estate agent, I'm looking for the CC&Rs about this property, that's what is essentially I just mentioned in there. The next one is going to be the rules that homeowners in a community must abide by. And the next one is going to be the bylaws, which are the rules that the homeowners association operates within. The next one is the plat map. And then you also have special assessment and litigation statements. You have the minutes for the last two homeowners association meetings, and then also the current financial statements for the particular homeowners association. Now, keep in mind, as I mentioned, it does take a few months for it to be done. And in some cases, some HOAs don't want to even fork over this information, and which means that if they don't want to do that, it can't get added to the VA approved list. And if it can't get added to the VA approved list, then unfortunately, you can't buy it. So just keep that in mind if you run into issues with a specific association that does not want to fork over this information. I've helped several veterans buy condos and even buy condos that aren't on the VA approved list. And personally, I have not experienced one that wasn't willing to provide the information that we needed in order to get it added. So I'm not saying that it won't happen or it can't happen. I just think it's something worth sharing just to prepare yourself for. All right, so I have Redfin open here. I'm going to show you guys a couple of things to look out for when you are looking for condo, really. I also, on the other side of my screen, I have the website that you have to go to look up if a condo is on the VA approved list. So I'm going to show you what to look for when you're looking for a property. Again, I'm using Redfin just personally because I find it to be the easiest one to use for things like this on using a free site that you're not using that your realtor gave you. I'm going to try this one out. Let's see if this one is on the VA approved list, and I'll show you exactly where to look to know exactly what to search for. You see this little emblem right here, these three little houses? That is going to signify that this is the name of the condo association. So we're going to jump over to here. And also, I didn't tell you guys, I am searching in the Orlando, Florida area. This was one of the areas you guys asked me to include in my payment breakdowns for you guys. So we'll go over here, we'll type in the name, and we'll see what comes up. And I'm going to show you some things that can cause what you're searching for to not always pop up right as well. So I'm hoping this one actually works. I'm doing this in real time. You notice this says not found. So we're going to have to get creative in how we enter this information here. So we're going to erase this. I'm going to try just 101. And you see here, 101 Eola, I think that's how you say it. 101 Eola, and it shows the street address as well. And this is a perfect example of what I was going to get at. The name of the condo is 101 Eola Condos, and it didn't come up when I searched for it. And that's because how it's listed on the VA website is not always how it's listed on the MLS and on these different sites. So it's really important that who you're working with knows what to search for. But what you also want to do is verify that it's the right information. And it looks like it's 101 South Eola Drive and 101 South Eola Drive. So perfect. That's it. Accepted without conditions. It's been on the VA approved list since 2012. So let's do a monthly payment breakdown with this property and see what we come up with. Now I'm going to scroll all the way down to here, and we're going to put in, oops, I forgot, what's our sales price? $355. So we have our sales price of $355, and we're doing 0 down, 30-year term. I put 6.5 here because the national average as of March 21st of recording this video was 6.47. That's national average for VA interest rates. And then we're going to do, let's just say that they are an active duty veteran. They've never used their VA loan. They're not service connected, which means they're going to finance the VA funding fee into the total loan. Now, we need to open up our calculator here because the calculation on my right-hand side factors everything in based on annual cost. So I need to multiply these property taxes by 12, and that's $48.72. I need to multiply the homeowner's insurance by 12, $28.44, and we need to multiply the HOA by 12. That's a pretty big HOA payment, guys. But here's one of the reasons why I'm showing you guys this, because it's extremely important you're factoring in your HOA dues into your monthly payment calculation, because that does affect what you qualify for. If we look at our total cost or our total monthly payment, we have the principal and interest at $2292.08, property taxes at $406, homeowners insurance at $237, HOA at $1373, which brings our total monthly payment to $4,200 $308.08. That's how much this property would cost you every single month. Now, the other place you guys asked me to do one on is Houston, Texas as well. And I'll probably do more like this in other videos where I'll do one for Houston that's not a condo. But for now, we're going to search at 400,000 and let's see what we can find here. I'm going to do this one. This is 300 St. Joseph Parkway. So scrolling down, we're going to see here Edge Condos. So we'll go over to the search and we'll type in Edge Condos because that's what it says it's called. And we're going to do Texas and Cedar Spring Edge Condos. Nope, that's in Dallas. So that's not it because we're in Houston. And Stono Edge Condos. Nope, that's in Austin. As you can see, we're not on the right place. So I'm going to try to get a little bit creative in how I search for it. I'm just going to try just the word Edge. And we're going to hit search. We have a few things that come up with the name Edge. I'm going to try this first one. There it is. Edge Condominiums and our address 300 St. Joseph Parkway. And I think there it is, 300 St. Joseph Parkway. So this is definitely the one we're looking for. And it's also accepted without conditions. It's been on the VA approved list since 2008. So that's the right one. It is on the VA approved list. Now let's go over to our monthly payment breakdown and let's see what this one would cost on a monthly basis for this condo here. We'll keep the same information as well. Scroll down to our calculations and see what these guys look like. So we have our property taxes at 507. Let's do that. And then we have our homeowner's insurance at 220, 26. Oops, I think I did something wrong. So homeowner's insurance 2640 and property taxes. There we go. And then HOA at 740. There we go. So that's our info input there. Brings our monthly payment, principal and interest, $1,936.97. Property taxes at 507. Homeowners insurance at 220. HOA at 740, which brings our total monthly payment to $3,403.97. So there you have it, guys. We found 2 condos in 2 different places, Houston, Texas, and also Orlando, Florida. Both of them were on the VA approved list. And now you guys know exactly where to look for properties when it comes to looking for a condo, right? Where to look to confirm that it's on the list, how to get it on the list, and where to look for condos when you are searching for them and making sure that they're on the list based on the name, and also making sure that you're factoring in your monthly HOA dues. So there you have it, how to buy a condo with your VA home loan benefit. If you want to see me do more monthly payment breakdowns, comment below the city and state that you're in, and I'll be able to provide that for you. And if you want to see more information around the VA home loan benefit, comment below exactly what it is that you're looking for, and I will do my best to either make a video about it or simply just provide you with an explanation in regards to what you're looking for. The next thing is I want you to know that Jesus loves you and that he paid a price for your life, and I appreciate you being here and being a part of this community. If you want to learn more VA loan tips, make sure you subscribe to the community and watch this video right here.